was that that Reaper was unnecessary for the future moves, and he instead knew that he needed these units at this moment. So I don't want to say that I know that, because that would be awfully presumptuous of me to be making that claim. But I think what we can see is that now Almojo has a fleet of airships coming over, and this will be interesting, because as we know, Mojojojo has seen this coming from many eons ago. He's got some kind of plan.
He does indeed, and I think he's going to start by absorbing some hits here. He knows that these Banshees eventually are going to have to run out of ammo. There's no way they can keep this attack up for sure forever. And again, I believe that this is just a bigger mind play in the greater schemes of things. Mojojojo is actually known for shifting the metagame itself. He doesn't just play the game, no, he plays the metagame. And if you're not ready to play that as well, you shouldn't be joining his games. But it looks like Almojo is indeed going to fall for that play. He's going to take out the command center, but he's going to be very disappointed to know that there is a new command center going down in the natural expansion with SCVs already holding minerals. They are ready to go with this fantastic micromanagement. They are ready to bring back those resources to the base for the greater good. And really, there's just nothing that Almojo can do about that, other than continue to fire on these buildings that Mojojojo doesn't even need anymore. Look at this huge army he's got here. He is ready to do some damage.
Oh, spring into action. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. He was lulling him to sleep, allowing him to go ahead and think he was safe to do all that harm, and then he springs in to pick one off and damage the others. This is truly brilliant play.
I gotta say, I haven't seen play like this since I think it must have been watching the Major League Baseball back in the 60s. I mean, we haven't seen such pure play in a long, long time. Almojo's like the guy on steroids, but we got Babe Ruth here with Mojojojo, and I gotta say, I'm just drawn in by this kid's play. He's even got a Raven out on the field. Oh my gosh, I almost missed it.
Wow.
And that, folks, is such a high-tier tech unit that I just don't know if there's anything that Almojo can do against this. He looks like he's going to try to come back in once again with these Banshees, but really, what is he going to do here?
Well, just the foresight alone to make a Raven, like, it's almost like he knew that he needed that to detect the Banshees. And it's just... And now we have an intense chase scene going on. One dropship, one Banshee, and one Raven chasing these Banshees. They seem to be doing okay, keeping up. Alright, they're following them. This is going to be pretty interesting. All the way across the map. Okay, here we go. They're going to actually get caught up here by the enemy forces. Mojojojo, again, freeing up that supply. I no longer need these. Have them. Oh, man, that just... I have no idea what I'm even looking at, but I feel like it's visual gold.
It certainly is. We're not touching fool's gold here. This is a real gold, and I gotta say, I'm excited for what appears to be perhaps the culmination of the metagame shift that we've just witnessed from Mojojojo. They are in fact staring each other down. And I gotta say, one guy is wearing pink, the other is not. What more do we have to say? Mojojojo in the Battle of the Shades. It's a dark, dark force to be beckoned. There's no way that Almojo is going to be able to just instill any fear. Look at this, charging right into the battle.
I just don't know who's going to come out on top. It's really close. All the Marauders fall. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but look at this! An extra contingent! He's got another contingent of forces behind the mineral line now bringing up and trying to take it out, but no, it looks like Almojo just a little bit outproduced Mojojojo after the metagame shift messed up everything, and I think Mojojojo may have gotten 2 steps ahead of his opponent instead of just the one that he needed to ensure that victory. And not to be undone, though, I got to say that at this point, I don't think that Mojojojo has lost the war. I think this was just a case of losing a battle in the greater scope to win that war. What are your thoughts on this match that we just watched?
Well, I can't help but to feel like there was something going on behind the scenes. If I could have you scroll up to the 12 o'clock position of the map, you'll see the 2 infamous Reapers, both with registered multiple kills on their kill count. I just feel like he was absolutely... he had Almojo in his sights, and then backed off with them and put them and sequestered them to a corner of the map where they wouldn't be found for the rest of the game. So I can't help but to question whether or not Mojojojo took pity on the lesser player and just wanted him to feel the taste of victory one last time. This whole game, it felt like there was just a poised, momentous beast ready to just unleash on this poor Almojo player, but it just never came to fruition. And I don't know, I question whether or not that's legitimate. What are your thoughts?
You know, I think it comes down to the fact that Almojo was clearly using map hacks. I mean, he had ComSat, and that is something that a non-purist uses. Whereas Mojojojo, playing in the purest sense of the game, if anything, I think he still won this match because you know what? He didn't fall to the high capital expenses of making such items like ComSat that use magic of all things to win games. No, he played with pure heart and spirit and with his mind above all else to control the pace of the game and to dictate what was going to happen. But in the end, it looks like Paul Bunyan cannot beat the chainsaw, for all of you who know that story. And I think though that Mojojojo is going to come back with a vengeance at this point and show us probably the most epic game that we've seen to date. This clearly was the most epic game I've seen to date, but I think he's going to top even that in his next showing. What do you think, Incontrol?
Well, I think that's absolutely, that's like calling rain in Seattle. I mean, the guy just every time he plays, he's revealing some part of the future that we only get to witness through his play. I mean, it's just the guy. His Reaper harass was on par with players that we can't even name yet because they haven't gone pro. His macro management, his base management, his reactions to Banshees, his dividing of his forces and flanking from his own position. I mean, these are the kinds of stuff that people are going to talk about, like, in 2 or 3 years as if it was nothing. I would not be surprised to see some kind of Mutalist stacking-esque evolution out of his play in the next couple of games. I mean, that's what we're dealing with this guy. Just looking at his base, like, none of the depots are sunk. He's a purist. He's got 1 starport without an add-on. I mean, the guy just... Everything about his play speaks towards some kind of development, some kind of future progression, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this commentary, folks. I hope you enjoyed this epic match, and I cannot wait till we get the next replay out of this kid. And I mean, getting replays from this guy is like pulling teeth. It is very difficult to get this quality of a replay from someone who just transcends Battle.net in itself. But I got to say thank you, Incontrol, for joining me on this momentous occasion. I'm pretty sure that the two of us together have just witnessed and recorded history in itself, and again, in its purest form. And so I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'd like to thank all of our viewers for watching, and can't wait to the next game. GG!